Good afternoon, Fin fans, and welcome back to another episode of AT Fins News. So now that the free agency frenzy has kind of calmed down, let's take a look at the state of the Miami Dolphins moving forward. So without further ado, let's just get right into it, shall we? So we all know already the biggest news in the free agency period was our acquisition of Tyreek Hill. He's a dynamic playmaker. He's one of the most explosive players in the league, if not the most explosive player in the whole NFL. But we also made some solid additions with Tyreek Hill as far as bringing in another receiver that didn't get too much playing time his first couple years in the league, but last year when he had his time to shine because of injuries with the Dallas Cowboys, Cedric Wilson, he's gonna be pushed back probably to like the fourth receiver on the depth chart, depending on what we do with Devontae Parker. But he's also a guy. He's a great ball catcher. He has a good catch radius. He can yards after catch. He's one of the best in the league. So with the additions of just the Tyreek Hill and Wilson, is going to help our offense drastically. Just as far as the passing game goes, Cedric Wilson's a willing blocker on the edge for our running game to get established where we can break bigger runs. So we definitely like that pick. Love what we did in the running back room, just to adding more guys, more speed guys as far as Raheem Mostert. I'm sure a lot of you know this, but we actually had him a few years ago on our practice squad, and we let him go to the 49ers, and now he's actually back with Miami, so that's cool to see. But he's a blazer. If he can stay healthy, because he's had injury concerns throughout his career, if he can stay healthy, he'd be a great addition to our backfield. And as well as Chase Edmonds, another blazer. He's great at catching the balls out of the backfield. And I really think that's where he's going to get most of his touches when it comes to Tua. He definitely loves to throw to his check down receiver. But this is where it gets good, guys, because of the additions we have on offense as far as we got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Wilson, Parker, if we do keep Parker, because there is news that we could be trading him here shortly. So keep an eye out on that, guys. But as of right now, with the receiving core we have, they're going to take the defenders out of the flat routes because of their speed, and Chase Edmonds can eat on the flat. He'll gain yards after catch. He can take a 5-yard pass and take it 60 yards to the house. So that's exciting to see. As well as, of course, I wouldn't say we shored up our offensive line. I would really like us to get one more O-lineman. J.C. Treader's still out there, guys. No one has signed him. I'm kind of surprised that no team in the league really has made an effort to go and get this guy, because he's a really good center. And if somehow the Dolphins can bring him in, I know it seems like the Dolphins are content with and like Michael Dieter as center, but if we can bring J.C. Treader in and maybe move Dieter to a guard position, our line would be pretty much solidified, and let Austin Jackson and Eichenberg battle it out for the last lineman position. But I'm really hoping in the next week or so we start hearing reports that we're looking into acquiring J.C. Treader, because I think with him at center, and then we got the guard Williams from the Cowboys, and then of course we got Armstead as our tackle. That line could be a great line, and it can be extremely beneficial not only to Tua as our quarterback, but our whole offense in general, because without a good line, you're not going to be able to have sustained success on the offensive side of the ball. Even when the line provides a good pocket for the quarterback, the quarterback is expecting that pressure because it's happening so consistently, guys, that even when the pocket's clean, the quarterback is not going to feel comfortable. So that's something that we need to look at when training camp starts, and just to see how this line gels together. But I mean, you got to love the offensive additions that they made to this team to help it improve, and it's kind of refreshing to see after a few years. I mean, I like Brian Flores as a head coach, but he was real defensive minded, and we've seen that. We've seen us build the defense up and complete that first, and then we never really got any. We never really got any help on the offensive side of the ball, besides the Jalen Waddle pick, of course. But other than that, we didn't try to really get too much better in free agency. But it's refreshing to see this new coaching regime come in and really focus on the offensive side of the ball, getting these playmakers that we haven't had, explosive playmakers where Tua can throw a quick slant that can go to the house. And then another thing I wanted to go over as far as what I've been seeing in the national media ever since we acquired Tyreek Hill, how they're pretty much saying Tyreek Hill is going to become irrelevant in the NFL. These guys, the national media is saying this. That I don't know if they just don't really know football because they just watch highlights here and there or clips here and there, but as far as Tyreek Hill becoming irrelevant in the NFL, it's not going to happen, guys. He is too explosive of a playmaker. He's too good at getting open, beating man coverage with the speed and his route running that, I mean, I understand that they're thinking that he's not going to get those big 60-yard throws through the air to big bomb touchdowns, but I know Patrick Mahomes has a stronger arm than Tua. I get that. I'm never going to compare the two as far as arm ability. But if you notice, Patrick Mahomes a lot of times throws the ball behind the line of scrimmage or on quick slants or crossing routes. I know he can go deep. We've all seen the spectacular play from him. But let's not lie to ourselves and think that Mahomes, all he does is take a 5-step drop and throw the ball 50 yards down the field all the time. He doesn't do that. The biggest throw that they've had together was in the Super Bowl with the busted coverage from the 49ers on that 4th down and 20 or whatever it was a few years ago, and they completed that 45-yard pass. But other than that, I mean, Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill had a lot of quick hitters. If you go back to the playoff game against the Bills, when the Bills just scored and took the lead, and then Mahomes led him right back down the field, and him and Tyreek hooked up for like a 60-yard touchdown. It was on a quick slant, guys. He caught it 5 yards past the line of scrimmage and just ran through the Bills' defense. It wasn't Mahomes' arm that got the ball 60 yards down the field and Tyreek Hill was just wide open there. So I understand Mahomes is at another level than Tua is at the moment, but Tyreek Hill's still going to have a dominant year, guys. So we don't need to worry about the national media, what they're saying about how Tyreek Hill's going to be irrelevant because of who he has throwing him the ball now. Don't listen to that, guys. Mike McDaniel is going to have creative ways to get this guy open. Not only Tyreek Hill, he's going to have creative ways to get Jalen Waddle open. He's going to have a couple packages for Cedric Wilson. From all accounts, he's a guru offensively. So you should have all the confidence in the world that he's going to be able to come up with a game plan, Mike McDaniel, to get his best players the ball. Just like he did in San Francisco. I know that they're saying he wasn't the play caller, it was Shanahan, but he would develop the plays and he knew how to get his best players the ball, even with the limited quarterback in Jimmy G, in my opinion. Look at Deebo Samuel. He was their best player on offense, and it didn't matter if they handed him the ball, gave him a little pitch on the outside, gave him a screen pass. They were going to get the ball into their best playmakers' hands. And that's what we got to remember while watching this offense develop under Mike McDaniel. He is going to come up with a game plan to have Tua distribute the ball to his best playmakers, and that we should all have confidence that's what Mike McDaniel's going to establish this year as his first year as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. As far as the defensive side of the ball goes, we pretty much kept the whole defense intact, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I like that our defense was pretty stout the last 2 years. So Mike McDaniel coming in as an offensive guy really didn't want to ruffle any of those feathers and get rid of guys. I'm still worried. I still hope that we keep X just to keep X and Byron Jones together for one more year. I'm hoping we don't trade him away because of the picks we lost with the Tyreek Hill move. But I don't see that happening. I think Mike McDaniel's vision is he's going to keep the defensive intact. He's going to build the offense and see where that takes him in year one as the head coach. And I like that approach. I mean, it's better than tearing down the whole defense and just making the stout offense, and then the defense gives up 35 points a game and we're losing anyway, right? So I think he's doing a good job bringing in his coaching staff, having a vision for this team, and executing his vision in the first wave of free agency, you know? I'm still hoping for another lineman, like I've been saying, guys. Really high on J.C. Tretter. He's pretty much the guy that I'm banging the table for. I really want him. He'll just shore up the inside of that line. We won't have our center getting pushed back into the quarterback, especially when our quarterback's on the smaller side. So he's gonna have a tough time seeing over 6'8" defensive tackle right in his face, you know. So if we can get J.C. Tretter in free agency, I would say this free agency was the best free agency we've had it maybe ever with the acquisitions we had, especially Tyreek Hill, and fixing that line is the most important thing in free agency when we started it, right, guys? So I think they've done a good job so far, but it could be an excellent job if they can go and get that center, J.C. Tretter. But I definitely, like I said, guys, I definitely like the way we're building this team right now, and it is definitely refreshing, like I said before. So it's gonna be a fun season, and it's gonna be one of those seasons, a first season in a long time where it's gonna be exciting to watch the Miami Dolphins on the field. It's not gonna be a boring football offensive scheme where we're 3 and out, punting. And if that's the case, where we start the season and it's the same old offense that we've been witnessing for 20 plus years, then you know what's going to change. I don't even need to say it. It's not going to be the head coach again, obviously. But with the talent we've put around our quarterback and our offense in the whole, we should see drastic improvement starting in week 1. But besides that, guys, I'll be back. If any news breaks at this week, I'll be back tomorrow or Saturday. If not, I'll be shooting a video on Tuesday, just going over still our position of needs after free agencies kind of died down, what we still need to look to do. And I know we don't have a lot of draft picks coming up, but we'll start doing a deep dive into who we think we should be picking in the later rounds. In the 3rd round, I believe we have a pick, and then we'll start going over the draft as it gets closer. But other than that, guys, please hit that like button so the stream could be shared. And as well, if you're new to the channel, if you can please hit that subscribe button so we can help build this channel organically like we have been for the last 5 months or so. But other than that, guys, I appreciate and I love each and every one of y'all. Thanks for the support. And again, fins up. I'm out. Peace.